Are you tired of missing wide open shots? Struggling to green even with takeover? Tired of getting laughed at by your friends in the party? Well, you have come to the right place, because today we are going over the secrets to shooting in NBA 2K23, guaranteed to make you green more shots or your money back. Well, this video is free, so not really your money back. All I ask is that you drop a like on the video. But if you are looking to make some money, then you're going to want to use my link in the description to download Prize Picks today, because our friends over at Prize Picks are hooking you guys up. Prize Picks is a daily sports fantasy app that allows you to use your sports knowledge and turn it into profit. And with the NFL season just underway, this is the perfect time for you to get started. It's simple. Choose your sport and make your picks. For example, in the NFL, you have everything from receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing attempts, rushing yards. There's all different categories to choose from. Once you make your picks, then you have to decide, is that player going to have more or less than the prediction from that category? The more picks you get right, the more money you win. And as if it couldn't get any better, if you use my link in the description to sign up for Prize Picks today, they will double your first deposit. Thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. The first tip I have for you is to go into your settings and check out your release timing, okay? They added this feature in. Now you can set it to very early, late, or very late. Now my recommendation, and a lot of really good shooter recommendation, I'm talking guys that play in the 2K League, they play the game daily, they said choose between early or late. Don't go very late or very early. Now, of course, this is personal preference, but I also agree that early or late is the way to go. Now, quickly, this does not affect your jump shot speed, so don't think very early your shot's going to be quicker. No. This is just when you release the button. So this is a preference to make it more comfortable for when you release the button. It does not affect your actual jump shot animation. I want to make that clear. Now, me personally, I run it on early. I like to release that button relatively quickly, let the shot play out, and then hopefully see that green pop up. But check it out, change it, find your preference, you know, base it off of what you normally shoot. If you feel like your shot's a little bit too slow, you want to release the button earlier, put it on early, or vice versa. If you think your jump shot's a little bit too quick, you want to hold the button a little longer, put it on late, mess around with it, find your preference, and you'll see a lot more greens. The second tip I have for you in NBA 2K23 when shooting the ball is different shots have different speeds, and I don't just mean the jump shot that you select. Obviously, I think everyone watching this video understands whatever jump shot you pick is going to have a different speed, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things like fatigue. If your player's tired, your jump shot is going to be slower. Also, something they added this year to 2K23 is if your shot is getting contested, the release of your shot will be quicker, much like real life, right? If someone's jumping to block your shot, you might try to get the shot off a little bit quicker to avoid that shot blocker or to avoid being contested even more. So the same thing in 2K23. If you see that a player's jumping at you, maybe you're shooting a last second shot in the shot clock and the other team knows you're going to shoot it, so they sell out, they press block, and they're flying out at you to try to get as good of a contest as possible. Anticipate your jump shot release being a little bit quicker this year, so understanding shot speeds is going to allow you to green more shots. Fatigue and contest have a big factor this year in terms of how quickly or how slowly your shot will need to be released. The third secret I have is finding a shot cue. Now, a lot of people, I feel like they shoot off memory. They're like, oh, I just have a feeling of when my shot goes. But the problem with this is if you get a gather, if you get a bad catch animation, or any of the other factors that we just talked about, you're not going to make your shot. You're not going to green your shot because you're going off of straight memory. So when selecting your shot, try to find a shot that has a cue that you say, that is when I need to release the button to get my green. Now, for me, I like to watch the player's hands. I have some friends that like to watch their feet or their legs. Maybe they have a kick out animation. But most people I talk to that are really good shooters on this game, they say watch the hands. These visual cues are really important to being a consistent shooter. For me, I like to watch the hands. Maybe depending on the release that I have on, maybe it's when the hands reach the forehead height, or maybe when they reach the top of the head height, or maybe as they pass by the player's face. Find what visual cue fits your jump shot, so that even if you get a bad catch or a gather, or you're low on stamina, or they have, a player gets a contest on you, which speeds up your shot this year, you can still green it because you're watching for that visual cue. Now, for any of my tryhards, you guys already know this tip, but for anyone new to the game or just a more casual player, I can't express this enough. Hot zones are very, very important. Now, on this year's game, there is no hot zone hunter. There is no badge to amplify the effects of having a hot spot on the court. But just having the hot spot on the court will make it so much easier for you to green shots. Whether you're shooting mid-ranges or especially three-pointers, having that hot spot is very important. So to check your hot spots, just go into your roster, go to stats, click R3, click down the right stick on your player, and scroll over until you see the hot spots so you can see what you have, what you don't have, what's hot, what's cold, what's neutral, and then you can try to shoot from those spots to get your hot spots. And once you have hot spots, it will make it a lot easier to green. So I know it sounds really simple, but it's really important. Get your hot spots. The fifth tip I have for you is to check your settings and your animations right before you play every time you play. Now you might say, oh, why would I do that? It's a waste of time. The reason being is because specifically this year on 2K23, maybe they patched this, but at the time of me recording this video, for some reason, your animations randomly get reset to default. So there's games that I play and I'm like, why is my behind the back on like basic? Why is my crossover on basic? Why is my jump shot all of a sudden on like the default jump shot? And after the game, I step off the court, I go in my animations, and it's all reset. I don't know why it does this, but right now there's a glitch on the game. It resets your animation. So you're out there, you're shooting with a default jump shot, and you're like, why can't I hit a shot? Because you don't even have your jump shot on. Make sure you go check your animations, and not only that, check your settings, because like we talked about early in the video, when you set it to either early or late preferred release time, it'll get glitched and it'll just flip back to the other one, or it'll go to whatever 2K has as the default release timing. So for me, I like early. A lot of times I go in my settings, it's set to late. I got to make sure before I step on the court, I change it back to early. Make sure you check your settings and your animations. Otherwise, you're going to be out there playing with stuff that you don't even want to have on. The next tip I have for you is understand rhythm and momentum on 2K. And I know it might sound simple, but listen to me. A lot of people have a lack of understanding about how takeover works on 2K. So you either think like your player's normal or you have takeover and you're going crazy. There is an in-between there, right? So the more bad shots you take, the closer to cold you get. You're losing attributes during that time. But the same is also true if you're taking good shots and you're making them. You might not have your takeover, so you might not have +10 to your three ball. But if you're halfway to takeover, you have +5 to your three ball. So you're in rhythm. Your player has good momentum building up to try to build up your takeover. But even if you don't reach your takeover, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to be building towards that, which is making your attributes go higher. Maybe not fully the +10s like you would in your takeover, but even like a +2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that really helps, as opposed to if you're doing the opposite, you're shooting contested shots, you're shooting air balls, you're turning the ball over, you're going to be getting closer and closer to, -5, -8, -9 attributes, which is going to make it a lot harder for your player to shoot consistently. The next tip is learn your shot to the point you could take off your shot meter. Now, if you guys watch any really good 2K players, they all play with their meter off, and the reason being is because you get a boost to your shot by playing with the meter off. Now, it's a small boost. I don't know the exact percentage. It's a small boost, but it does help. So early on, if you're trying out a new jump shot or whatever, if you think you need the meter, that's fine. Learn your timing with the meter, but once you have it, have the confidence to take that meter off and shoot without the meter. I promise you, even if you're new to 2K, once you learn your shot, take that meter off and you will be greening way more than you would if you had kept that meter on. Understand your badges and make sure they fit the type of shots you're going to shoot. What I see a lot of people do is they look up best badge setup for a point guard and they put on whatever they have in that video. Now, that video might have some good information, but maybe they shoot different shots than you, right? Don't just look up a best shooting badge video and then put on whatever they have. Make sure those badges are fitting your type of shots. If you're only shooting catch and shoots, corner threes, spot up shots, there's no reason for you to have like off dribble shooting badges on. Or if you're the guy that always has the ball in his hands, you probably don't need catch and shoot on, despite the fact that it is a very good shooting badge. You probably don't need corner specialist, despite the fact it's a very good shooting badge, because it doesn't fit the type of shots you're going to shoot. So make sure you cater your shooting badge setup to whatever shots you shoot majority of the time. Two more quick tips. The first one I'm going to give you is do not change your shot just because you had one bad shooting game. You never know what could have happened. It could have been your Wi-Fi was bugging out and you had a little bit of latency and that's why you were missing. There could be a million reasons why you were missing. Don't just change your shot and start from scratch trying to learn a new shot just because you had a bad shooting game. I see it all the time. Somebody shoots, 0 for 4 and they're like, oh, I need a new shot. And they take whatever shot someone in the party gives them and they try that out and they shoot just as bad. Just stick with what works for you, right? Just because somebody says, oh, this shot has an A+ speed, A- release height, and it's better than the attributes or stats of the jump shot you're currently using. If you're out there sparking shooting 4 for 4 every game, don't change just because somebody told you this shot is better, that shot is better. Go with what works for you and stick with it. And last but not least, this isn't a necessity, but it will really help you. Buy Jumpshot Boost. I know it costs VC, but Jumpshot Boost help a lot. If you watch any of these like Pro-Am tournaments where there's thousands and thousands of dollars on the line, I promise you every single player on that court, make sure they have Jumpshot Boost. If you watch any of these stage tournaments or comp tournaments, park tournaments where there's money on the line, everyone is making sure they have Jumpshot Boost. There is a reason for that. I'm not telling you blow all your VC, but if you have the VC and you want to shoot better, Jumpshot Boost will certainly help. Now, whether you're an experienced 2K player or a new one, hopefully at least one tip in this video will help you shoot better, man. If at least one tip in this video did help you, make sure y'all drop a like on the video and subscribe if you guys are new. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Go green some damn shots. I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.